Dementia Researcher with a blog and a rating.
When I think back many years ago, when I started to investigate what a PhD was and if one was for me, it dawned on me that I had no idea how to actually find one. So I thought in this blog, I'd give an insight and some practical guidance into some of the places you can find a PhD project or programme. So you've come to the conclusion that you want to do a PhD. Woo! You know the sort of subject area you'd like to complete your research in. You may or may not have a specific research question in mind. That's okay. But you might now be thinking to yourself, okay, I know I want to do a PhD, but where in the world can I find one? Well, look no further. So number one, findaphd.com. One of the best tools there is for finding PhD positions is findaphd.com. The site lists thousands of PhD projects and programs across the world. You can search by category, country you want to study in, and even specific universities. This is a great place to start if you are considering applying for a PhD. What's more, the website also advertises open days that they host all about PhD study, and they also have helpful guides relating to PhDs, interview questions, etc. What's also great about this website is that they give information about the funding for the PhD. For example, on the PhD listing, they'll state whether the role is only available for self-funding or if there is funding available with the role. This is something that is super helpful as it can help you find projects or programs that fit with exactly what you're looking for. Number two, Twitter or X. In many of my other blogs, I've recommended getting a Twitter or X account, and this is because many group leaders, also called principal investigators, have Twitter accounts. And one of the things that they often share are any new funding or positions they have available. That means when they have funding for new PhD positions, they often share them on this site. However, to ensure that you get updates from the people you like, you will need to spend a bit of time curating your account and following the research groups you're interested in. I found that following Dementia Researcher, charities that fund dementia research, such as ALUK and the Alzheimer Society, and accounts that are for societies which dementia researchers from across the world are a part of, such as iStart, gave me a way to find researchers from across the world who were also interested and also doing dementia research. Number three, you can email research group leaders. If there is a specific researcher you want to work with, then sometimes emailing them directly can be a great way of showing your interest. However, if you do decide to email a group leader directly, make sure that you send a well-drafted email. Be specific in the subject heading. Keep the email relatively short. Express your interest, tell them why you're interested in their lab, and ask them if there is a possibility to organise a meeting to speak through any potential opportunities. Make sure that in your initial email, you attach your most up-to-date CV too, as this will give the person an insight into the skills you may already have. Emailing group leaders can be a little daunting, but it can be very worthwhile. So what about funding for doctoral training programmes? So to recap, DTPs are PhD programmes with a cohort of students. You still complete a PhD project, but you may have to do additional modules or lab rotations. Plus, there are usually extra opportunities to train and develop your research skills. I mentioned last month that I'd also talk about how to find DTP places. Well, you're in luck, because DTP projects are also listed on findaphd.com. They're often tweeted by group leaders, and you can also contact the group leader directly about one. But if you're considering applying for a DTP place, it's definitely worth checking out the website relating to that DTP, as each one may have slightly different requirements. Usually more experience is needed for these, and each programme may involve different things. And the main website will also tell you how the application process will work, as well as the number of places they have on their programme. So some examples of DTP programmes within the UK include the MRC DIMEN DTP programme. This DTP would take place at one of the 5 partner universities, including the University of Sheffield, Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle and York, and projects that are available can be found on their website. But make sure to get in touch with the project supervisor before you apply. And another example is the King's MRC DTP programme. The King's DTP takes place at King's College London. It's a DTP programme focused predominantly on biomedical science, so lots of the projects fall into this realm. So I hope you found this blog helpful in finding out where to find the right PhD for yourself. Make sure to keep an eye out for next month's blog, which will be all about how to get your PhD application to stand out.
Thank you for listening. Join the Dementia Research bloggers and share your own views.